Hey everyone, Siam here for another macro metrics video because the property and stock market is not an indicator of economic health. Apologies about my background and my hairiness. I just don't care anymore. Yeah, I'm actually moving house in a couple of weeks. We found our forever home, so yeah, can't wait. So I am literally in the hovel upstairs at the moment, boxes galore. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack on. Okie dokie, let's crack on. Let's move my face out of the way for the moment. As you know, these are the health indicators, which are actually the things you should be paying attention to, and the government and the banks will always try and manipulate these indicators by printing currency, dropping rates, yada yada yada. So first of all, we're going to look at another one of these: delinquencies, bankruptcies, plus bailouts to a degree. And if we find the big red line, here we go. And it's United Airlines. So this is basically them giving us, obviously it's a warning, but these warnings tend to follow through because they have to go through the official channels. They can't just go, everyone's now redundant. They have to basically warm up to it. And if we find that article, obviously all the links will be in the video below. Yeah, United Airlines warns that it could lay off 36,000 employees. That's pretty much half of their US workforce. It's not good. As I've been saying for a while, retail, hospitality and leisure are screwed permanently. Ellie, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video, but Ellie and I, we did our dinner the other day. Dinner is where we go to dinner and then cinema in an evening. It's our thing. And we did it for the first time in months and months, and it was not horrible, it was just a shit experience because everywhere we went you had to like either give your details at the reception of your name and email address or number because of the dreaded C word, contact tracing and all that sort of stuff. Everyone's wearing masks galore. It felt like you're in some sort of hospital. They don't even give you condiments anymore. Like, you know, the ketchups and the salt and vinegar, they're not on the tables because of, you know, health and So I had to ask for ketchup about 6 different times. And they come up with the tiniest little beaker and I'm like, great, that's good for 2 chips. Yeah, and then we went to the cinema and like they're screwed. Honestly, if you want to do a long-term play, like short cinemas, short Odeon, short view cinemas, like they're screwed. They're absolutely screwed. They're separating people in the screens by like a country mile in front or all around. There's like 3 people per row, and the rows in front and behind you are completely empty, and they're staggered. Like cinema struggle to break even at best. So then they cannot survive. And with Apple, Disney, Netflix and Amazon Prime all really biting or gunning for airtime, they're screwed. So yeah, that's United. And then last but not least, because I want to keep this a short-ish video, we need to zoom out to, actually I should move the bailouts over here, because a bailout is basically a government tinkering. And we have Rishi to the rescue. To a degree. I don't really agree with that statement, but yeah, so this is a quick overview. So they're basically trying to kickstart employment for young people. Wages paid up to 6 months for up to 25 hours a week. What I want to know is, like, is there a limit? Like, are some employers going to abuse that? Could you have, you know, 2, like in theory, if you wanted 1 full member of staff, someone could get 2 young people doing 25 hours a week and it'll be free. So I'm sure there's this scope there. I'm sure I just need to chat with my accountant. £1,000 bonus paid for employers to bringing back furloughed staff, so that's good. Increased apprentice schemes, yeah, all that. But the big ones are the stamp duty and I guess, yeah, these bottom 3. So stamp duty scrapped up to £500,000. And there's a VAT cut for hospitality down to 5% until January. It's not going to cut the mustard, Rishi. It really isn't. Especially there's some businesses that still aren't allowed open. I've got a business. One of the businesses, we're not allowed to open yet. Like, it's not going to help. And August, eat out to help out. So it's unlimited up to a certain time period, but basically up to £10 per head you can, restaurant owners will be able to claim that back. Now, I'm not going to cover all of this. There's going to be a million websites out there covering this. My accountant sent me a pretty good PDF. I'll put the link to that in this video below. Explains it a little bit more in slightly more detail, so that's pretty handy. Thanks, Caroline and Nigel. But I just, in my opinion, it's, yeah, so I put this Facebook status out or an hour ago, and it's, yeah, I'm just gonna, so yeah, I'll just read it. Everyone is praising Rishi, and I like him, by the way. He's definitely being cultivated into future Prime Minister, but this new stim pack won't touch the sides. It's not going to increase currency velocity one bit. And remember, currency velocity, if we zoom out, we've spoken about this before, the velocity of currency is crashing. That's why they have to keep on printing. You see a big old dip down, so they have to print more to try and steady things up. Yeah, it's basically putting a plaster over a gunshot wound. So there will be more aggressive helicopter money coming soon. And now remember, if we are fortunate enough to get good old-fashioned helicopter money where it comes straight to us, not the banks, don't use it just to spend on stuff. Use it to help yourself. Use it to invest if you can. If there are things about stopping you from putting it into investments, etc., there are always workarounds. So personally, yeah, just take that money and help it to boost your business, help it to get some assets, not liabilities. Yeah, on a side note, I wonder how the media will spin it when he inevitably has to hike up most taxes to pay for all of this, which will only hurt the middle and working class. Remember, taxes full stop came around hundreds of years ago because the middle or poor and middle class were arguing or revolting against the rich being rich, etc. I mean, it's been like that from the day dot. But what happens? Taxes come in, income tax comes in, all that sort of stuff, to punish the rich. But the rich are rich because they know what they're doing, so they simply they move sideways, and guess what? They're normally quite insulated. They're the best accountants on the planet, and it always ends up hurting the poor and middle class. So yeah, same old thing here. And also the mathematical nature of debt is that you pay more than what you received. So how else do you think Rishi's going to pay back the $300 or $600 billion he's been dishing out or will dish out? It will have to be in the form of tax hikes. So yeah, just wait. There's a tsunami of tax coming, guys and girls. So yeah, it's the irony of modern day crony capitalism. Crony capitalism works for about 10 years at a time, and then every 10 years we have basically some sort of global market crash, and then everyone relies on socialism to bail everyone out. But only the rich get bailed out, and the masses are left holding the debt or the tax hikes. Will people be calling him a hero then? He's not. He's just doing his job, and it's an impossible job. Whoever has this job will end up being hated and loved by, just like the Prime Minister. They are impossible jobs. And if I had his job, I would be probably the most hated person ever. I'll have to make a video of what I would do, but it wouldn't please anyone. But it is the right thing to do. Also, the stock market suckers rally is only there so the big boys can exit properly to eventually leave the public holding more worthless stocks. It will roll over. This is like the most blindingly obvious thing for me. Yes, I've been in the markets for a while, but it really is. If we just get the charts open, let's get one nice blank naked virgin chart over here. So let's look at the the Dow Jones. Let's put it on the daily chart. We'll go a little trade here. So yeah, so this is what's happened on the Dow Jones. We've had this rally, and it's basically pump on, risk on. So yeah. And it's been going up. But what a lot of people fail to understand is, the public have a very short memory, very short memory. I'll just put myself back here. And all it takes is a few months of stock market rallying for everyone's perception and sentiment to change. So over here we have the 1929 Great Crash. It was massive fall off. We made this low down here. And then we had a massive rally, and guess what? Quantitative easing, QE, was not created in 2008. It was created during the Great Depression. They first did QE down here, and so this was a massive stim pump to try and prop up the markets, and we had a 6-month rally. What do you think people think? what do you think people think after 6 months of the media going, oh, the market's rallied 50% since, you know, whatever low, blah, blah, blah. Everyone goes, oh, okay, time to buy stocks. But all that's happening is that the big boys are simply exiting their stock to the public, and it's the dumb public that buy up all of this stuff. And then you had a 2-year crash, and from top of drop to bottom of drop is an 87% drop. So let's just take a little screenshot of this, and then look at the S&P 500. And there's so many similarities between what happened then, what's happening now, and then let's just look at this. There we go. So in fact, we could just probably squeeze this up to make it probably the same size. And yeah, so we will have a rolling over. I would say we're probably in this area. We're not at the top yet. I'm going long on stocks at the moment, even though I'm incredibly bearish long term. So yeah, when this rollover starts to happen, it's going to be deep and fast. So everything's all interconnected, social media, internet, derivatives mainly. So it won't be a 2.5-year crash like 1929. It will be, you know, same sort of deepness, depth. It'll be harsh, but I think it'll be a lot faster. And we see this with everything else. Like, so just look at the where's the 2008 crash? We always have a sucker's rally. It's a stim pump. It's a stimulus pump. So here's a 2008 crash. Massive. Whoa, what happened there? And then we had literally, what was this? If I was to do from here to here, that was 80 days. So 2.5 months basically. And guess what? Similar sort of picture. Then we had further falling. And then guess what? It's game time, baby. All the way down here. Let's look at the 2000 crash. So same sort of thing. We had the first jolt. That jolt here was like, oh shit. Then we had how much of rallying? Like 120, so 3 months of rallying, and everyone's like, oh, and everything's fine. And guess what happened? We really, things went to pot. Same sort of picture. So like the history does tell us, history is our best guide with most things. So when people say past performance is not a guaranteed indicator of future performance, yes, I agree. When you're comparing, say, fund managers, let's say someone's been on fire for the last 5 years, doesn't mean someone's still going to be on fire in the future. But when it comes to macroeconomics, markets, they are very cyclical. The market doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes really freaking well. So that's that bit. Oh, I haven't finished reading this bit. So yeah, blah, blah, blah. P.S. Yeah, the stamp duty threshold raise doesn't stimulate the economy. It only helps mortgage lenders / banks. I mentioned in an article ages ago that shit hits the fan when in the resi world, when mortgage issuance dries up, and it has been. And the stamp duty land tax thing is just a tiny plaster to arrest that issuance dry up. But it won't work. It won't. So, and also just think about it. Like that, this is only helping people that are in a position to buy a house in the next, half a year or so. That's a very tiny percentage of the population. So that's not even like all home. It was probably of all the people in the homeowner sphere or pie of the pie chart. That's a very small percentage. I'd say probably 1 in 10, 2 in 10 maybe. So it doesn't really help that many people. What would help people is direct money into our bank accounts, and we can do whatever the hell we want with it. Or even better, direct money into our bank accounts with a time limit. So like previous articles, like vouchers, spending vouchers, and you have to spend it within 30 days, use it or lose it. That would help speed up MV, so currency velocity. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. 18 minutes, geez, I need to shut up. I'll see you soon. Bye.